Chapter 18 Moksha Sannyas Yoga, the Yoga of Salvation by Renunciation. Salvation and renunciation have a deeper bond. Devotee gives up desire, not deeds, so you understand. Pandit had expressed his quest about renunciation of karmas in order to attain salvation, nirvana or moksha. Arjun had also asked the same in beginning of this chapter. Arjun says, O Almighty, O Omniscient, I intend to know the essence of renunciation and wisdom, or tyag and sannyas, the renounced order of life, separately. Lord answered the question in distinct words, which is the principal and conspicuous message of Lord Krishna found in study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Lord declares the renunciation or tyag. There are two viewpoints in this regard. Some sages define renunciation as the giving up of all works motivated by desire. Since all works have a measure of taint and therefore they should be given up, whereas others declare renunciation as giving up of the fruits of works, not the works. Hey Arjun, here you listen to my insuperable and fixed decree regarding renunciation. O the best of men, acts like yajna, charity, and austerity are not worth renouncing. Rather, it is undoubtedly the duty to do, because these acts purify the intelligence of wise persons. Hey Arjun, the works in the form of yajna, charity, austerity, and other worthy works should be performed by giving up attachment and desire for the fruits. In other words, sannyasi renounces attachment to work, not the work, renounces desire for the fruit, not the fruit. This is my decisive, supreme verdict. Renunciation is also of three kinds, the sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. Three kinds of renunciation. Tamasic renunciation. Hey Arjun, it is the duty to perform the prescribed karmas. These are not worth giving up. Rejection of these karmas out of delusion or ignorance is declared to be tamasic renunciation. Rajasic renunciation. All works are troublesome. Thinking thus, he who gives up his duties for fear of physical strain, such a renunciation is of rajasic nature. One attains no worthwhile benefit despite practicing this renunciation. Sattvic renunciation. Hey Arjun, the prescribed karmas must be performed as duty. One who works with this thought, renouncing attachment to works and their fruits, is the sattvic renunciation. In other words, instead of giving up the duty-bound karmas, giving up of attachment to them and the desire for fruits is accepted as the sattvic renunciation. Hey Arjun, he who has neither aversion to inauspicious works nor attachment to auspicious works, but performs his work intently as duty, quitting doubts and debate, being unmindful of the result, whether he fails or succeeds, his act is true, sattvic. Such person imbued with sattva gun is free of doubt. He is wise and a renunciant indeed. In fact, it is not possible for the embodied beings to give up all works altogether. But he who renounces their fruits instead is called the renunciant. Desirous people alone accrue threefold fruits of their works even after their death. These fruits are pleasant, unpleasant, and mixed, whereas there is no fruit of karmas of the renunciant or yogi at any time, for karmas performed by him are no karmas indeed, as yogi works without attachment and desire. Working without attachment and desire, one remains unbound thus and liberates. The five causes of karma. About doership of karmas, God says, "Hey Arjun, the Sankhya doctrine shows five factors behind accomplishment of all actions. Know these from me. 1. Base, the particular place. 2. Doer. 3. Various instruments. 4. Efforts of various kinds, and similarly the fifth cause is providence or the grace of God. Whatever work one commits with body, mind and speech, whether in accordance with the scriptures or even contrary, all karmas take place only because of these five factors. Despite this, he who looks upon himself as the sole doer is the man of untaught and perverse intelligence, for he does not see the truth. I am the doer, the person who has no such thought in his mind, whose intelligence remains uninvolved in worldly works and things. Such person, despite killing all these people, neither kills nor incurs sin. Inspirers and constituents of karma. Lord now tells about the inspirers of karma, saying, "Hey Arjun, all karmas take place by the aforesaid five factors, and behind those karmas there persist three inspiring forces, which are the knower, knowledge, and knowable, the object of knowledge. These three motivate all actions. In other words, union of these three spurs one with desire to act, and those three, union of which brings any karma into form, are the doer, instrument, and action or activity. These three are named as the constituents of karma, which implies that whatever karma comes into form is only due to union of these three. Wisdom, karma, and doer. Lord now tells about wisdom, karma, and doer, and the way these differ according to the three modes of nature. These are defined in the scriptures of Sankhya Yoga, each in three ways as per the respective quality. Three kinds of wisdom. Sattvic wisdom, the wisdom by which a person sees the one imperishable Supreme Being dwelling individually and equally in all diverse beings, is sattvic. Rajasic wisdom, that by which one views all existences of various kinds as apart from one another, or fails to perceive the oneness due to presence of God in all beings. Such wisdom is Rajasic. Tamasic wisdom, the wisdom by which one clings only to the body as if it were the whole, and which is irrational, bereft of any truth, petty and narrow, is declared tamasic. Three kinds of karma. Sattvic karma, the karma which is ordained by the scriptures and performed without the sense of doership, without any passion, aversion, and a desire for the fruit, is called sattvic karma. Rajasic karma, the karma which is extremely laborious, impelled by desire, performed by one for satisfaction of the senses with pride and expectation of the fruit, such karma is rajasic. Tamasic karma. The karma which one undertakes through sheer ignorance, without considering one's capacity, consequences, violence and harm to oneself or to others, is tamasic karma. Three kinds of doers. Sattvic doer. He who is free from attachment, speaks no words of arrogance, endowed with enthusiasm and perseverance, and who is free from flaws like joy and sorrow, unswayed by success and failure, but content to do aright, such is the sattvic doer. Rajasic doer. Full of attachment, eagerly seeks fruits of his works, greedy, oppressive by nature, who is of impure conduct and easily shaken by joy and sorrow, is called the Rajasic doer. Tamasic doer. The person of perverse mind, untaught, arrogant, obstinate, having nature of inflicting pain and destroying livelihood of others, despondent, lazy, malicious and procrastinating, he is known as the tamasic doer. Intelligence, firmness and happiness. Hey Arjun, now you hear the threefold distinction of intelligence, firmness and happiness separately, according to the three qualities. Three kinds of intelligence. Sattvic intelligence. The intelligence that truly distinguishes the path to be followed and the path to be abandoned, what should be done and what must not be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, and understands what binds and what liberates the soul. Such intelligence is sattvic. Rajasic intelligence. The intelligence which lacks true perception of religion and irreligion, dharma or adharma, fails to distinguish truth of what is duty to be done and what is forbidden, is Rajasic intelligence. Tamasic intelligence. Hey Arjun, the intelligence which is clouded with ignorance and gloom regards sin or irreligion as the religion and conceives all facts contrariwise, that is tamasic intelligence. Three kinds of firmness. Sattvic firmness. God says, Hey Arjun, the unwavering steadiness through yoga meditation, by which one controls the activities of mind, pranas, that is life breaths, and the senses, is sattvic firmness. Rajasic firmness. The firmness by which a person desirous of fruits with extreme attachment holds fast to his duty, religious, economic and worldly works, is Rajasic. Tamasic firmness. Hey Arjun, the firmness by which a person of wicked intelligence does not give up vices like oversleeping, folly, despair, sorrow, fear and vanity, is known as tamasic firmness. Three kinds of happiness. Sattvic happiness. The happiness which although seems bitter like poison in the beginning at the time of practice, but results as nectar in the end, and springs from the piety of the self-contemplating intelligence, has been declared as sattvic happiness. Rajasic happiness. The happiness resulting from contacts of the senses with their objects, though it appears like nectar during consumption, but eventually results as poison, such happiness is Rajasic. Tamasic happiness. the happiness that deludes the self during its enjoyment and in consequence as well, which arises from sleep, sloth, and dereliction, is called tamasic happiness. Lord Krishna, while describing enormity of the three qualities, sattva, rajas, and tamas, says, Hey Arjun, there is no being on the earth, in heaven, or among the deities who is free from these three qualities born of nature. Natural karmas, the duties destined by one's nature and station, or swabhav and swadharma. Lord Krishna further explains sanskars, the impressions in mind due to karmas of the past. These result in certain qualities that constitute one's temperament, according to which humans are also found divided into four classes. These are Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Karmas of each according to one's innate nature are mentioned below. Note: four classes. The fourfold order of society mentioned in the Gita is not only to the Hindus, but it is of universal application. Each class has certain well-defined characteristics, though they are not to be regarded as exclusive. They are not determined by heredity, but the qualities, nature, and work, or gun, swabhav, and karma, are the basis of the classification. Brahmin, or cleric, serenity, control of mind and intelligence, subjugation of the senses, external and internal purity, to withstand hardships on the way of dharma, forgiveness, patience, simplicity of mind, senses, and body, to acquire knowledge of scriptures, trust in God and religion, wisdom, that is self-realization. A Brahmin has these as his natural karmas, born of his nature. Kshatriya, or warriors, heroism, brilliance, cleverness, fortitude, nature of not fleeing from battle, generosity, constancy, leadership, or lordliness, and nobleness. These are the natural karmas or traits of a Kshatriya. Vaishya, businessman, agriculture, rearing cattle, trade, and truthful behavior in business. These are the natural karmas of a Vaishya. Shudra, workers, to undertake karma according to nature of the individual in service of society is the natural karma of Shudra. Salvation through natural karma. God says, everyone must perform one's own natural karma earnestly. One attains the highest perfection thus, and therein rests the ultimate benefit of the person. Hey Arjun, God, from whom all beings have originated and who pervades the entire universe, worshipping Him through own natural karma, that is, doing one's duty diligently, one attains the supreme success, the God realization. Lord thereby says, none should look down upon one's own work or karma in any way. Rather, by accepting the own karma as dharma or religion, one must keep doing it with complete commitment. Hey Arjun, by doing own karma, though lacking merit, is better than doing others' karma even excellently, because one does not incur sin by doing own karma ordained by one's nature. Hey son of Kunti, one should never give up the work that suits to one's nature, even if it is flawed, for all karmas consist of some or the other blemish, as bright flame is blurred with black smoke. According to the teachings of Lord, whatever one's own natural karma may be, by doing that earnestly and dispassionately, one attains the supreme bliss or salvation. Salvation through wisdom, or sannyas, or Sankhya Yoga. After explaining salvation through renunciation and karma, God reveals the way to attain salvation through sannyas or Sankhya Yoga as well. The Gita defines it as, Arjun, he who has intelligence free of attachment, without any attachment to anything, without any desire, and who has overcome the mind and intelligence, such person attains the supreme state of actionlessness through the path of sannyas, the yoga of wisdom. He is a sannyasi or renunciant. Karma thus form no sanskars and one liberates. Therefore, hey Arjun, the person who has attained the state of actionlessness, the way he attains Brahma, the supreme consummation of wisdom, and the loyalty to wisdom, that is, listen in brief from me. The one with pure intelligence, dwelling in serene and solitary place, having sattvic and regulated diet, controlling the body, mind, speech, and unerringly steadfast in strict detachment, ever absorbed in yoga of meditation, who has overcome mind and intelligence by sattvic firmness, abstaining from the wiles of sense objects like sound, etc., casting aside attraction and aversion, quitting pride, power, arrogance, lust, anger, material accumulation and luxuries, and who dwells dispassionately, having the mind and intelligence in perfect tranquility, such a person qualifies to oneness with the Supreme Being. The person who is established in oneness with God, having blissful mind, he neither grieves nor desires anything. Regarding all beings as alike, he attains supreme devotion to me. Through that supreme devotion, one comes to know me exactly, realizes the supreme reality, what and who I am, and my authority, and knowing me truly, one forthwith enters into me. Thereby, depending upon me always, despite doing all works, by my grace one attains the eternal abode, the imperishable supreme state. Conclusion. Lord Krishna describes Karma Yoga as well as Sankhya Yoga and depicted unity between the two in this final chapter. Both these have a single aim, the supreme devotion to God, by which one attains salvation or moksha. God in the end imparts His most auspicious message of Karma Yoga for benefit of all mankind. Hey Arjun, mentally dedicating all your karmas unto me, depending entirely upon me and resorting to steadfastness in intelligence, fix your mind constantly upon me, be solely devoted to me alone. With your mind continually fixed in me, you shall overcome all obstacles by my grace. But if you refuse to heed my word out of sheer pride, you shall certainly perish. Relying on yourself out of egotism, if you think you will not fight, then your resolve is vain, for your combatant or kshatriya nature shall compel you to the war anyway. Hey Arjun, the karma which you are reluctant to perform due to delusion brought by passion, you shall do that even against your will, under the dominance of your very nature, the inborn qualities. Finally, Lord asks, Arjun, have you heard my words intently? Has the ignorance that bred your trouble vanished? Arjun says to Lord, O Lord of Lords, by your grace my delusion is now dispelled. The light has dawned unto me. I regained my memory. Here I solidly stand with no suspicion. Thy word I shall obey. Maharishi Vyas, who wrote the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the end of the scripture, declares his true word to the world in the form of following prediction. Wherever is Lord Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, and wherever there is archer, Arjun, the wielder of the Gandiv bow, certainly there stands success, victory, glory, and unfailing righteousness. Such is my conviction. Om Tat Sat. Thus ends Upanishad of the celestial song, the knowledge of God realization, the scripture of Yoga, the dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjun, the 18th chapter, entitled Moksha Sannyas Yoga, the yoga of salvation by renunciation. Pandit learnt the complete Gita from Shri Prabhuji, felt himself blessed and the most fortunate. He bowed reverently to Shri Prabhuji and with due permission returned to his hometown Kashi. Om.